It was almost impossible to go. I had lived in Boston my whole life, and I was going to leave everything behind me. Everyone I knew, everything I was familiar with, to go off into the unknown, not exactly knowing what to expect. I almost couldn't do it, but then my friend said, hey, if it sucks, you can just come back. And that sort of became my mantra in the beginning that helped me go through the motions of just leaving Boston. I spent 3 months sailing down to Florida. Within the first few days of leaving, I realized I had never been so happy before. I met so many other cruisers and made a lot of friends. Finally got to Florida and jumped over to the Bahamas. I couldn't believe the change in the color of the water. When I left Florida, it was just before sunset, and then I sailed across the Gulf Stream overnight. When the sun came up the next day, the water was blue and crystal clear. I'd never seen anything like it before. I felt like I went into this whole new world. I spent 3 months living at anchor and exploring the different islands of the Bahamas. And then I adopted a cat named Abby. I named her Abby after Tanya Abbey, a girl who sailed around the world and wrote a book about it, which was really inspirational to me. Then after 3 months in the Bahamas, I sailed single-handed about 1,000 nautical miles from Marsh Harbor in the Bahamas straight to Newport, Rhode Island in about 9 days. Really got tested with the long-distance offshore single-handed sailing, not sleeping for more than 15 minutes at a time and scanning the horizon for other ships and checking sail, trim, and course, and radar, and chart plotter. When I got to Newport, it was, this feeling of actually pulling it off was the most amazing feeling, and I wanted to go again. I spent the summer back at Constitution Marina, and then pushed off again, went down the coast of Beaufort, and then did a non-stop sail, this time down to the Caribbean, to St. Martin. After a winter of exploring some of the islands in the Caribbean, I sailed all the way back to Boston. I still wasn't ready to say goodbye to Boston. Then in 2005, I sailed to Bermuda, then to the Caribbean, and then sailed down the island chain to Venezuela, where I lived in this wonderful community of about 100 boats in the anchorage that had come from all over Europe and from South Africa and the States and Canada. It was this real multinational, multicultural group, and we became this close-knit community. All the people on the boats in the anchorage, they had all sailed thousands of miles to get there. Even though we had come from different countries and spoke different languages and were from different cultures, we all had the sailing bug and had sailed so long to get there. I made a lot of great friends. I spent the next 2 years sailing around the islands of the Caribbean, back and forth. During that time, I worked as a scuba diver for a dive center in St. Martin, and also found work just working on other people's boats, a lot of varnishing work actually.